Hey, Kate.
What?
Why do tampons have strings?
So you can pull it out.
So you can floss when you're done eating.
What? No. I'm on it now. You want to try?
Welcome to Really Inappropriate Parents with Kate and Chance,
Hi, I'm Chance.
where absolutely nothing is off limits and everything has the potential to be inappropriate.
Welcome to episode 3, Kate.
We're here.
We've
Episode
made,
3, R.I.P.
That was pretty lame. You wanted me to say that, but I was not going to.
I know. That's
I
why
can't believe we've made 3 of these.
We haven't made 3. We made 2.
This is
the third one. We'll see how it goes.
we shall see.
We just saw our first 1-star review.
That definitely hurt me a little bit. I know we were joking about it, but on Apple,
Did it hurt you?
just reading it, you never want to read anything negative, but we've been wanting that. You've been calling it.
No, we don't. Guys, if you're listening, we only want 5-star reviews. Do not.
But you've
go
been
on.
calling it constructive criticism.
Okay.
So I mean,
but
that
there
wasn't really
any
it was
criticism.
it was more like, am I the only one giving this a real rating? And I gave it a 1 star, and it was kind of funny to read.
No, it wasn't. It was actually not funny, and I did not like it at all.
I think that 1-star review dropped us down to a 4.9 rating.
Listen,
We're no longer 5 stars.
if you don't like us, just don't listen to us. Just leave a 1
just
star.
don't leave a review
We're leaving 1 star.
unless it's
review.
good.
All right, so this episode, we are going to give you a taste into our childhood, and that's pretty much how everyone becomes who they are as adults.
Wow.
Through childhood.
So you have to be a child before
Yeah.
you're an adult?
Yeah, well, yeah, child, and
Interesting
then
concept.
an adolescent, and then an adult.
Unless,
Unless,
of course, you're Benjamin Button.
Stop. No. So
Kate, so playing off of that, Kate has never seen that movie until, what, a couple weeks ago? A month ago, maybe?
It's been like 2 months.
Okay, not the point there. She has never seen that movie. And it's one of those movies that's very well written,
Mhm.
but it is so long. And once you watch it
Just
once.
like this monologue you're about
Yeah,
to go on.
exactly. So once you watch it once, you're like, I'm glad I watched it, but I can't see myself sitting through that again. And then when I've been trying to get you to watch it and you finally watched it, I had to sit through another 3 hours of that. And by the end, I think I was sleeping. But it is a good
going
movie.
on a tangent here. Well, now I'm in a mood.
You've already been in mood because it's that red drop time of the month.
It is, yeah.
By the way, if we're getting raunchy in here like I know we have been,
What?
you've usually been very good about
I know what you're going to say.
how you dispose
I know what you're going to say.
of your womanly products that you need every month. So I have never, maybe one time before this, had maybe once seen her old tampon. And I went in to use the bathroom yesterday, and that thing was at the top of the trash can in the bathroom.
Yeah, I did on
just
purpose.
sitting there.
I was agitated with you, and I wanted you to see it. I was like, you know what?
Were you
Here it
agitated
is.
before or after I did all the work on our lawn and
I was
landscape and everything?
just agitated in general, and I'm like, I'm not wrapping this up. He's going to look at it. Chance, do you know how a tampon works?
I do, but I couldn't have told you before I think you showed me how it works.
How does it work?
I mean, how do I even describe something like
Just
that?
describe it.
It's like a little plastic tube.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
inside is a string that's hanging out of the tube, but inside is the cotton part, whatever. Is it cotton? It's made out
Absorbent
of?
material.
The absorbent. And you put the whole tube up there, and then you pull out the plastic part, and
You
then
push up the plastic part.
Okay.
And then you
Is that how it
pull,
works?
yeah.
And then all that's
plunger.
hanging out is just that string.
Yeah.
What a weird, simple invention that's made someone billions of dollars. You know
Wait,
what
I
mean?
can somehow
What brand
merge
do you
this
use?
in. Wait, I can merge this in to our childhood. The
But
first
what brand do
time-
you use?
No, I'm not sponsored by anyone. If you want to be sponsored, you can send me some tampons.
There we go.
No, that gives me leeway, or what's it called? Leeway?
Headway?
Headway. There we go. Headway into childhood.
Speaking of never mind.
Chance. Do you want to hear the story about when I first got my period?
Oh God.
Wait, do you?
I mean,
be honest, because I don't have to say it.
Let's hear it.
Have I not told you? So I got my period when I was 11, and I know that.
Is that pretty typical around that age?
I think most girls it's around 12 or 13. It depends.
And you were just early and everything. Early
on, yeah. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. We'll get some feedback from everyone listening if that's normal. So I was 11, and it was June 25th. That's my birthday.
So you just turned 11.
I just turned 11. So basically, I was 10/11. I mean, it was my birthday. And I was having a pool party at our public pool. And so I couldn't transition from using a pad, which is most of the time what happens for girls. I had to go straight into a tampon. And I'm not even sure how the heck I figured it out.
Heavy flow bleeding type?
What?
Were you like a heavy bleeder?
I don't know. I don't remember that. I just remember having to use a tampon at age 11. I think the first out of all our girlfriends at a pool party. And I was terrified.
But were you bleeding before you got into the pool, or when you got into the pool, you were bleeding in the pool?
I was bleeding before we left for the pool party. And I was like, what is this?
So it didn't come on surprisingly where you're in the pool, and then all of a sudden it looked like a shark had bit you underwater?
No. So I was prepared beforehand, which I guess looking back, thank goodness. Imagine if I had it.
It'd be traumatizing.
Yeah.
Especially for a young woman that's at that age. That'd
be traumatic. I never thought about it that way. I'm not sure like how my mom even taught me. I don't think she would remember. I don't remember. I think she was just like, look at the directions on the box, because it's on the box. Yeah, so we definitely had different experiences as a male versus a female growing up as kids in the, what would that be, 90s?
Oh God.
Wait, you were 2000s. I was.
Yeah, by the time I was high school, it was.
I guess 2000s. Yeah.
For me,
gosh, we are old. Ugh. So we are gonna start with childhood memories that are happy, because I have some memories that are pretty traumatic and pretty dark. So we're gonna start out pretty light. Not like my flow when I was 11. Okay. Oh, I made you laugh.
That's good.
I made you laugh. Oh, witty here. That's how you get them, kids. That's how you get them. You'll
humor.
Reel them in with your witty humor. Anyway, so happy memories as a child. So this goes back probably before middle school. I think one of the greatest things my family did for our family growing up, my sister and I, is taking us on camping trips. So we went to a place called Cumberland Island. It's off the shore of Georgia. And it used to be. I don't know what it's like now. So it used to only hold like 35 people on this private island. You would have to take a ferry over, and you camped. It wasn't like what Chance would assume like camping would be.
What do you think I would assume camping is?
You think it's like glamping. That's you, Chance. Like, I don't think
No. I know what true camping is, and I know what glamour camping is.
But
it's not that I don't know it.
Have you ever been?
I have stayed in a tent overnight in high school at someone's random backyard. Where
Okay,
we
that's
didn't
not
do anything.
camping. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Backyard,
but I've never wanted to just go out and camp. I love hiking. I love taking those trips. But at the end of the day,
this is my story, so I'll go on.
Wow.
So we're at Cumberland Island. Love this place. It was full of many memories with family, friends, and that was the first time I think I fell in love with the beach. I think that's probably why I still love it now, is I love the sand and finding shells. And I remember finding shark's teeth, which was really fun. As a kid, you're just like, this is so cool.
So you make fun of me for rocks.
Oh, wait.
Basically the same thing.
I wonder if my mom still has my jar of shark's teeth. I have like
oh, that's cool.
A jar of shark's teeth. There's a pretty big one in there too. I don't know where they went. I guarantee my mom would be like, Kate, I gave those to you. And really,
like she sold your bike.
Yeah, exactly. She probably threw them away.
You wanted to keep those shark's teeth?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my mom gave me my baby's teeth for Christmas. That's a different story.
Do you have them here in our house?
I do.
Do you really?
I do. I thought it was the coolest thing. My sister was grossed out.
Yeah, that's creepy now.
No, I thought it was cool. My mom, because I mean,
I get it in her
the
perspective.
tooth fairy. Yeah, you want to save
It makes
their
sense.
teeth. She had it written on envelopes which tooth had been picked up by the tooth fairy that day. So it was like left molar, right incisor, front left tooth. I mean, it was all like marked and everything in these little bags. Oh my gosh, I'm going off on a tangent. But speaking of teeth, and back to Cumberland Island, see how I'm doing that? I'm tying it back together.
Are you saying don't use your teeth?
No, I'm saying I remember being on the island and meeting a little kid who was at a different campsite. Because all the kids, I mean, back then, it was a private island, but nothing there was going to eat us or kill us. Unless there was like a mass murderer.
I love how you're talking about camping. You're like, we had our own private island. We took a ferry.
No, it was camping. Let me tell you.
We stayed in the Hilton.
No, we didn't. It was a tent. There was armadillos that crawled up the tent overnight. Lots of self-made fires, camping, sleeping bags, the works. So anyways, back to the teeth. We met a kid from another campsite, and I remember this so vividly because it just shocked me. He was eating sand. We saw him picking up the sand and putting it in his mouth and crunching it up. And I remember it was my sister, our friend Malia, and myself. We ran into him and we were like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm sharpening my teeth." Okay.
That's terrifying. Almost.
So now, thinking that back, if I was an adult and if I don't know how I would feel about that. If a little kid was just looked you straight in the eye and just said, "I'm eating sand to sharpen my
Yeah, that's
teeth."
on a scary movie.
I know.
That would happen. That conversation would happen.
And
in a scary movie where you're
camping site where there's only 35 people.
And they would just brush it off, but later that kid would have the sharpest teeth and he's gonna bite someone.
Yeah.
That's what happens in every movie.
I know. So true. So sorry I rambled on. With that, what's your happiest memory as a child?
We moved around, I would say, quite a bit. I mean,
so is this memory going to be from before middle school?
I don't think I even have a specific happy memory. I feel like most of my memories came from just playing sports.
None of your teammates wanted to sharpen their teeth.
No one wanted to sharpen their teeth, which is, looking back, I guess I had a boring childhood for not having those experiences.
If you don't know someone who's trying to sharpen their teeth, have you really experienced
have you even lived?
Have you even lived for real?
So my childhood, like I said, it's a little bit more tame. I don't feel like there was anything too crazy, too out of the ordinary.
Okay, so you had a pretty much happy childhood.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Pretty happy.
And I think I've told you that growing up, we were very privileged. Looking back, we were never living paycheck to paycheck. My parents were always had a nice job. Mm-hmm. I was always playing sports. My brother was playing sports, sister, they were always traveling with us. Mm-hmm. Just a very, I would say, in the middle vanilla family.
Like suburban white family.
Yeah.
The typical, yeah.
My parents were always, they love trying to redo houses. So we moved 4 different times. I went to 3 different schools, 2 different high schools.
Wait, elaborate on that, because I feel like a lot of people
this is definitely going to get into, I think we're going to try to talk about bullying later, some friends we made in high school versus friends we have now, everything. But moving around as a kid was tough in itself, because every time you moved, you had to make new friends, learn the whole system. But I feel like I got lucky in my situation because I had an older brother who was a quarterback of the football team, played shortstop on the baseball team. And I mean, I played football, I was a receiver, and baseball, me and him played together, which was cool. But I felt the pressure was a little less on me because he was jumping into a spot where he was already kind of popular almost, because if you're the starting quarterback and he's very personable, so he was already almost popular when he came into those schools, and no one wanted to be mean to the little brother. because that just wouldn't look good for if you want to be friends with him. So I felt like I did get lucky growing up having an older brother who was popular.
Okay.
So it
Are
helped
you just
a little
gonna
bit.
leave out that you were the new kid that came in that was an athletic, good-looking guy? Because I think
Yeah, but
that
you got to
also
think about
helped.
it. You got to
That
think
also
about
helped.
it from my point of view. I was not good looking to myself in high school. I did not know how to dress. I had all my brothers, who is 6 inches taller than me, all of his hand-me-downs. So I was a small back then for clothes in high school, and he was a large. And I had all of his
looking back
hand-me-downs.
at everybody in your class, though, were you good looking?
No. I did not know how to dress. I did not know how to wear my
Y'all,
hair.
we're
I
gonna
had
need some,
acne.
an Instagram
If you saw
photo
a picture
of
of me, I had a bowl cut, greasy hair, and it was always just
No.
down in my eyes. I don't think I came to where I knew how to wear my hair, a dress, until very, very late in my college experience.
Yeah,
So,
different episode for that.
yeah. So I was not confident at all in how I looked.
Is that
Just-
why you became so funny?
Yes, so that's a big reason why my personality, I think, was a shining star.
Shine.
And it wasn't even that. It was just, I was very sarcastic. I was very funny, which I felt like I had to be because I didn't think I looked good. So
Yeah.
I was trying to overcompensate by trying to be funny, which just helped me be a little bit more extroverted, make friends easier. And, you know, once I got my good looks, which you've tell me I have.
You
then,
do.
man,
It's annoying.
I'm a full package now, right?
Yes, you are.
I'm what they
Absolutely.
call the ugly duckling effect. Have you ever heard that saying?
Yes, of course, because I went through that too. Did people call you like a nickname?
Yeah, I was Tristan's brother.
Okay, so that's when you know you're good looking. Because guess what? I was called a praying mantis.
What the?
Listen. I was called, and this was not just from girls. A praying mantis.
That is the coolest nickname ever.
No, because I had big eyes. I had like big bulging eyes, which now is so cool
Yeah.
to have great big eyes. Not back then, okay? So praying mantis was one, and then I also was called the
Are you
redwood.
sure it wasn't praying
Listen,
mantis because you used
No,
to
I'm sure.
eat the heads off of your
I
fallen
would eat the
male?
I would do that now, but no, back then it's because I had big bulgy eyes, and I also was called the redwood forest because I had thick thighs. And you know what? Now, 2021, it's pretty to have big eyes, doll-like eyes. It's good to have big thighs, but that back then I was
Yeah, have you heard
okay. So
thick
ugly
thighs
duck-
save lives?
Okay. Anyway, so what I'm saying, you were good looking because maybe no one told you to your face, but
It's
people.
so funny you say that because I've told you 9 million times now that I was not good looking, and it's like you don't believe me.
I
Even by
can't.
saying, "Oh, your nickname was Tristan's brother," you're good looking. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you didn't.
It
hear
was they didn't even bother knowing my name because it didn't matter.
Well, it's okay.
That's how I felt in
Fair
high
enough.
school
I
and
res-
middle school and everything.
I respect your feelings.
So growing up, yeah, I was always looking up to him because he was the star athlete and all
And
those.
taller than you, so you were
Yeah,
literally
that
looking
freaking
up.
bastard.
Looking up to him.
I'm mad at my parents. They really
I know, and then
they
your
really
little
gave him
sister-
all the good genes, and they're
Well,
like, yeah, let's just make
Be
a.
quiet. Your whole family could be in a freaking model magazine. I'm done with this.
You're done with it?
Yeah. All right. So if we choose to switch gears, if you're ready for it, because I could ramble on about this
I know you could.
forever.
I know you could.
I know. Okay, we get it. So a little bit, I did just mention those nicknames that I was given. And that was high school too.
Yeah, that'll
So
take us
that was
definitely
rough.
into
So
bullying.
that was the bullying I encountered in high school. Just little like names here and there until I became popular, which is the ironic part. Once you're popular, no one wants to call you names anymore. So that's another thing that's really annoying.
Just to give you guys the difference between, I feel like men and women bullying, because I feel like it's so
you're gonna
different
hear it right now. Yeah.
So my take on bullying versus what Kate's experience
You should go
was
first.
so different. That's what I mean. I'm going to go first because
Okay.
it's so
Ease
different.
you in. Yeah.
So bullying for me was more between your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a few different schools, so I didn't feel like even if I wanted to, which I'd never wanted to, bullying someone you don't know or someone younger or anything, to me was just, I don't know, it didn't really make sense because I felt like I could have gotten bullied
Yeah.
coming into a new school. But our bullying was more pranks between our friends group. And when I say
It's
this,
not really bullying.
it's like
just
those
being bros.
Exactly, but that's where some of the bullying comes from. It's just taking it a little too far.
All right. What's
So
an
one
example?
of the things, it was a big trend in our high school at the time, was people would buy hundreds of zip ties, and they would zip tie either your book bag to a chair, to a desk,
Oh my
or
gosh.
zip tie two book bags together. Or when it got really elaborate, was we would take our friends, all their books, everything out, turn their book bag inside out, put all the books back in, zip it up, and then zip tie the zippers so they couldn't even get in them. That was the extent of bullying that I was a part of in school.
Yeah. And you only did it to your friends, you're sure?
It was only, yeah, it was.
You never
and
did it to someone
I never
else?
even zip tied anyone. I was always just around when people were doing it, so it just made it really funny.
Okay, so I want your take on this. If you had seen it being done, now go back to who you were back then, not now, not you as an adult. So you're a freshman trying to fit in school. If you had seen this being done to someone who wasn't your friend, what would you have done? And be honest, because I want everybody.
To me, zip tying someone's book bag shut is, I still feel like it's a harmless prank.
Yeah.
Because it's just funny to watch the person try to get into their book bag and then they realize it's zip tied shut and they're like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
That to me was the funny part. And even doing it to friends was hilarious because you can be a little bit more mean to your friends because they're just going to give it to you straight back. But if I saw it now, I mean, it's hard to think that that's a truly a mean thing. Yeah. It's not like we're calling anyone names. We didn't leave anyone out. So it was, we did that to our friends, but some of the people who were doing it to other people, it's not like we were pinpointing one person. It was,
I think that's interesting.
It was like a mass prank. Try to get as many people as you can.
I think
which
that's
made it funnier.
interesting because I think if it were to happen to someone who was not in your friends group, they would have a different take on it. I think, I mean, I don't know. Men and women are different.
No, I get that 100%.
Yeah, because I know
when you're the inside of a joke, it's funny, but when you're
on the
butt of the joke, then it's not funny.
Yeah. So you're saying, truly and being honest, you probably just would have sat back and just watched it happen. Yeah, which I think is pretty typical for guys.
Yeah,
especially you being new in the school.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I had a voice yet, which is not that, it doesn't make it right. If you see something bad, obviously you should stand up for that person.
Yeah, that's what we're saying now as adults.
I know it's easy to say that. Yeah, but as a kid, when you're going through all this stuff and you just want to fit in, that is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah,
but that person that's getting bullied might need.
Oh yeah, and you might not.
Step up.
You might have even bullied someone in high school,
and they didn't think it.
And no, you don't remember it, but they do.
True.
If that happened, leave a review on this podcast.
I'm sure,
No, just I hope that. I can't see you doing that to anyone. So I'll kind of go into how my experience was a little bit different from Chance's. I was bullied mostly in middle school. Middle school girls, they could star in a horror movie because they are so traumatizing and terrifying. I was bullied intensely. So the first one I really remember is I was on a basketball team pretty early on. I think my mom just wanted us to be in team sports. And I remember 2 girls on the basketball team in middle school started a petition that they sent around the so the girls sent around a petition that said, sign this if you think Kate is a slut. This is middle school. And so just a background, because some people were like, well, there has to be a reason they did that. So I hung out with more guys than I did girls. And I also lived out in the country. So it was a good 20 minutes from all of my friends. So
it was easier probably for them to make fun of you just because you were hanging out with just guys. They didn't feel like you wanted to connect with them or be friends with them.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not that great at basketball. I don't know if I was like...
Yeah, I've seen you shoot. It's not anything
great.
impressive.
Yeah, but I don't know if I was I guess I was just social, and I don't know if I was team captain in middle school. I really don't remember. I know I was in high school, but I don't know if that was like a threat to them or it was just a joke, but this petition got around the entire school. And even like you thinking about something, if something's like hanging in front of you in middle school, you're not really reading it, like sign this if blah, blah, blah. You're just like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll sign it, put my name down, pass it on to the next one. And that's what happened. And eventually the teachers took it and I was called into the guidance counselor's office. And I had no idea that it was even going around. And she was like, just sat down and explained to me what happened. I mean, it was super traumatic.
So the first time you found out about it was the guidance counselor showing you?
I never, she didn't let me see it.
Man, that'd be.
But because she had to call my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was the first time I heard about it. And then
did those girls get caught?
Yeah. And they were brought in, I'm sure, to talk to the guidance counselor.
Man, can you imagine?
I don't know their story. It would be very interesting to hear their take on it.
Yeah.
And what the guidance counselor talked to them about. Because all I know is I was in tears in the office. Because they were my best friends. 2 of my best friends at the time. So another thing that happened in middle school, again, this was right before. Is it like junior high? Is that different from middle school? I'm genuinely asking. I don't know.
I don't know those terms. Is it changed?
I don't know. I feel
like middle school.
Okay, so let's just say like it was 8th grade.
Okay.
So junior high. Yeah, I think because 7th and 8th grade where I was, it was like a separate school.
Yeah.
So
we had 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yes.
It was called
junior high. Yeah, junior high. Yeah. And I was on vacation with our family. And at this time, my dad had already passed away, which I'll probably go into later because that affected my childhood as well. My dad had passed away, so we got this house, I think was basically gifted to my mom, sort of being like, take you and your girls on this trip. We go on this trip, having a good time, and day before we're supposed to get back, my mom gets a phone call from the neighbors, and my mom looks very distraught.
Aww.
And at this time, gosh, how old are we? What are we, 14 maybe? 14 at the time. So I knew what was going on. And there had been vandalism done to my mom's house. And 2 girls had spray painted the driveway that my mom just got done. And we lived in the country. So think about this. My mom just got gravel removed and laid cement down on this super long country driveway. And they spray painted the cement. They spray painted the garage doors and wrote horror, slut.
That's true vandalism.
Yeah. I mean, if they had been not minors, they would have probably, I don't know.
I don't know what you get for that.
I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, so they did that. They threw soap on the porch and with letters that said, wash yourself, you dirty whore. I remember that. So my mom was aware of this, knew what she was going to get into when we got home. And then we called the cops, and the cops gave the parents of these girls an option. The cops said, you can either pay this fine and be done with it, or you can send your daughter to clean up the spray paint. I don't think I told you this. One of the parents just
what would you
paid.
Choose?
I would make my daughter clean that shit up.
If you're a parent and you heard about that.
Oh, yeah. One of them, to me, copped out. Just paid it, and their daughter didn't have to do anything. The other one had to come to the house. I don't know how often. And scrub the spray paint off of the driveway. I mean, my mom still had to hire professionals. But think about that. That was something they did to me. And they vandalized my mom's house, who just lost her husband. So
I can even imagine what your mom is.
Bullying my mom.
Yeah, your mom. That's traumatizing for a parent.
Yeah.
To know their daughter's going through that.
Yeah.
After everything she's been through. That's.
Again, and it comes back to like, I think people, why were people calling you a whore? Why were people calling you a slut? And you have to think 8th grade. All right. It was over a boy. That's so silly. Like I had been quote unquote dating. You don't even really, 14, I guess you kind of are dating a guy. I won't say his name because then people will figure out who those girls are. But I had been dating him, and then we stopped dating. We were just friends. We were cool. He wanted to hang out with spray paint girl number 1.
Was this your first serious boyfriend?
Yeah. And
Was he better than me?
no, it was junior high. He's
know,
trying to compare himself. And I remember at some point he had told Spray Paint Girl number 1, he said, I want to be with Kate. And that was it. I think it's because we were still friends and we'd broken up. And, junior high, you're just like, I want to get back with my ex. It was fun. We were hanging out. And she was pissed. So she got some spray paint.
She took it there.
And that's what we came home to. And it was over a stupid boy. So dumb. Like, I didn't even do anything with him besides probably kiss and make out. This guy probably has no idea this all happened because of him. He probably, I bet he definitely
Does he feel good about himself?
No, Chance, everyone knew about it because we went to a party the weekend after we got home. So I was invited to a party. I mean, pretty much everyone was invited. And I remember Spray Paint Girl number 1's sister had a cast. She had broken her arm.
Did you spray paint her cast?
And the cast was spray painted the same color as the driveway spray paint.
You got
so I was detective, true crime, and you know
Sherlock
what? I
Kate
unleashed
over here.
because I never drank until I was 21, and so I didn't go to those parties and drink like everyone else did because I was kind of a goody.
You were a goody two shoe a
little bit. So I'm at this party and I call out who I think spray painted the driveway. The girl who I think spray painted the driveway was not one of the girls, but she was the only one who lived close to me. Because I'm thinking, I live out in the country. There's only one girl that lives close enough who was still had to have been 2 miles away, 1.5 miles. So it had to be her. And
you're not driving at that point, so how are they getting there?
Exactly. So I knew someone had to walk. And so I went up to her, got in her face, and pretty much was like, why would you do this? I thought we were friends. And not once did she rat out her friend. She stood up and was like, you don't know what you're talking about. She never threw her friend under the bus until finally I found out. I mean, it's a long story. I found out who it was. And it was devastating because the girl who wasn't even involved, she knew about it. She just didn't want to partake. So they were staying at her house overnight and they wanted to do this. And the girl who actually lived there did not want to partake in it. The most ironic and crazy part about this, the second I got home and found out about it, I called one of my closest friends crying and say, this is what happened to me. I'm like, who would do this? I'm broken. I don't understand what I did to deserve this. And the girl I called was Spray Paint Girl number 2.
What? I didn't know that.
I know you didn't. I called her and she played the role perfectly. She consoled me. She said, I can't believe someone would do that. I'm so sorry.
Man,
It was because she was coerced from Spray Paint Girl number 1 to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I would handle that.
How you said, fitting in with friends. I think she had just moved and wanted to fit in with this really popular girl, Spray Paint Girl number 1. So because the other girl didn't want to go, Spray Paint Girl number 1 was like, hey, you, girl number 2.
So when did you find out? Was it shortly after you called her?
I found out after the party, so maybe a week later. She held back on it for a long time.
Wow.
She was the one that came and cleaned up the spray paint.
So I do know about cleaning up after a mess
Mm-hmm.
because this goes into a difference of guys versus girls bullying.
Okay.
Guys, it's that, when girls are sitting there and they're thinking, oh my God, he's probably with his friends trying to hook up with a bunch of girls. And that was never, that really is never the case with guys.
I know.
I remember growing up and even at sleepover parties with your good guy friends, I remember being at one of my really good friends and I was just happy to be included because they're all older. There was my brother's age group. And the sleepover insisted of us sneaking out at night at 10 or 11 and shining a pointer laser in the neighbor's window while he's watching TV. It was never to someone that we knew. It was neighbors.
Bullying. That's just
that's
guys,
what I mean. That's what guys are doing.
Silly.
But there was one time where we did TP this person's house, which I remember going to Kroger and buying 300 rolls of toilet paper.
Is that even considered bullying? Because
it's vandalism. But here's the bad part.
Yes.
So a girl, I guess I didn't know about this. A girl that they knew that went to the high school with us, lived at the house we TP'd, and I have no idea who it was. I didn't know her or anything. I think she went to a different school, but one of the guys knew her. So we TP'd the house. And the day they got it all cleaned up, took weeks for them to get the last strand of toilet paper off their trees and everything.
Oh, no.
The day they got it cleaned up, our friend was like, "Hey, we're gonna TP him again."
Stop.
And this time
Can't.
I think she found out through, I think Tristan, my brother, was making a joke or something.
Yeah.
She found out, and we had to do that whole thing where we had to go and clean it up.
Yeah, you should.
But my parents,
so.
they didn't know it was me that was tagged along with them. They just thought it was Tristan and a bunch of other guys. So I had to go and clean up with them. I was like, why am I having to do this? I was like, I wasn't even there, just playing that part. And they were like, well, Tristan has to do it. You're going there to clean up too. We had to go there and clean up.
You were there.
I know, but they didn't know that.
Okay.
And we had to clean up all the toilet paper. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. This was a hassle to clean up. I feel bad for this guy. He had to do it the first time.
Good. I'm glad your parents made you do that.
So am I. Good teaching.
Or I'd call you TP guy number one, the scapegoat, the one
That's
who
cool,
just
though.
got away with it.
You ever seen a TP job after it's done?
Yes, Chance, I have.
Does that still go on?
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like social media is too big. There's too many cameras. The whole ring on the door. I feel like you would get caught too easy now.
It's probably done in
This
the
is back
country.
when the Razr flip phone just came out.
I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think of going back to the bullying. So I know I'm kind of speaking about it a little bit lightheartedly. I want to reiterate those two big things that happened to me affected me long into my relationships with men. I think it definitely impacted how I felt about myself. I started to believe that I was a slut, a whore, a skank,
sexual object.
a sexual,
Even
a
in our
sexual
relationship.
object. I know. And we can talk about that later too. Maybe not this episode, but even when I started dating Chance, I felt like I was a sexual object.
Not because of me, just
Not
to reiterate.
exactly. Not because of Chance, but because of my
Or
past
past traumas.
relationships that I have always been in. And to this day, I still don't know how many people I've slept with because I think I was using sex as something that almost as an identity.
And I just taught you that sex isn't important and we just
Okay,
never do it anymore.
we get it. But essentially, I thought that's all I was good for. That's what I was taught in junior high, that I was a slut. And those things stayed with me. And I will never forget them. I do forgive the girls who did it. I've talked to one of them so far. I have not talked to the other three who really bullied me. And I haven't gone to any high school reunions. So, yeah, I don't know how that would be. Because you have to think, I want to think that I've grown and I can forgive. It's just one of those things I want to see if they've grown. Are they the same type of person? Do they even know they really affected me
They
that
probably
much?
don't.
Yeah.
Because when you do it to someone else, you really don't know how they truly feel about what
Yeah.
you've done.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I hope they've grown.
Remember?
Because I know I've grown from, I'm sure I've done some very skeptical things growing up because you're not going to be perfect,
Yeah,
especially
no
as a
one is.
kid growing up. You're going to make mistakes. It's how you deal with those mistakes you've made growing up. I feel like I'm just a profound person right now
my
saying this, even
gosh.
saying
Please,
this here.
I've helped you grow so much.
So
since you've
much.
been
You
with
helped me grow a lot in different
lot?
ways.
Do you grow
Intent,
a lot?
6 to midnight growth.
Okay. So besides bullying and how our childhood kind of impacted us inside the school system, what's something, because I'm going to start with you because I feel like
Some more interesting.
you're more interesting. Yeah, exactly. Because mine are sort of sadder stories. What's something that impacted your childhood outside of friendships or the school system? Do you have anything that you can think of that it could be something good too, just like something profound or impactful? It could be something like, did you have an outside team or athletic organization that impacted you now?
I would say, yeah, most of my stories are so tailored around sports, which isn't a bad thing because sports really do teach you a lot of,
Discipline.
good things besides
teamwork,
just
yeah.
being good at that sport, which,
Yeah.
man, I was so good at my
You're
sports.
so arrogant.
I just think it made me just more extroverted just because
Yeah.
being on a team, you had to interact with all your teammates. You were constantly
I can see that.
traveling,
for
especially
sure.
for baseball. We were constantly traveling. You had to have that camaraderie. So it just made you feel,
Ooh,
yeah, right?
camaraderie.
Just made you feel when I went to college, I wasn't necessarily scared to make friends going into college just because I felt like
You're
my
pretty social,
personality,
yeah.
I was already social. So I think just outside of that, the social aspect that
And you had
sports does
you
give
had to
to
have
you.
had confidence from being on a sports team.
Yeah, I just feel my confidence level was never scarce. I knew I was quick. I knew I was fast. I knew I could do things. So
We get it. You're great.
yeah,
We get it.
that's the
Chance
the
had
end line here.
A
I'm just-
very nice childhood. I cannot relate to moving high schools. I do think
I wouldn't say not. It was very stressful because when I was constantly,
I didn't say it was nice.
you said I had a
it-
very nice childhood.
Yeah, and I said, but then you didn't
I
let
had
me
different.
finish.
I would say I
You
had.
didn't let me finish. You never let me finish.
Oh,
So now I'm
Take
gonna
that
finish. I'm not gonna take it back.
I didn't have an easy childhood. I had a different childhood with different stresses. The stress of moving high schools. It's
Like
just different.
I was going to say, I couldn't imagine doing that. So I am going to say that that would be something stressful. I cannot relate to it. I just can see where you're coming from. I can envision it.
Wow, thank you for that.
Because I feel like I would have been bullied if I moved school to school. It would have just gone on and on and on. But
Do you think it's harder for men or women, or do you think it's about the same?
is that even a question? Wait,
Yeah.
moving schools or
yeah, moving
bullying?
schools?
Oh, okay.
Bullying.
If it was bullying, girls, 100%.
Yeah.
Girls are mean.
I agree with that.
vicious, tear out each other's throats. And
Yeah, girls are
to
terrifying,
the death,
the bullying.
essentially. Yeah. But, moving schools. I think it's harder on, I don't think gender has to do with it. I think it is harder on people who are not good looking.
It's a good way to put it.
I truly believe that. I think people who
Or
are
athletic.
good looking, athletic or good looking,
Or if
I
you're
feel
smart, do you think that?
no. As adults, that's something that makes the more intelligent you are, the more intriguing you are, and the more people want to know you. As an adult, I think that's how it is. Now, growing up as adolescents, I think what is pushed into our brains, are you good looking? What identifies being good looking? Are you thin enough? For us back then, it was how skinny are you?
And it's worse now with social media.
Yeah.
Just because
I
everything
know.
you see online of these influencers
Mhm.
are, everything's edited. People are having these amazing, crazy, good lives where it's all their pictures
it's a
are
highlight
very,
reel. It's a highlight reel. That's
very
why
good-looking people.
this podcast is just going to be very transparent. This is not a highlight reel. This is a real life. We're sitting here trying to talk over each other, which is our real life. So, what were we talking about?
We were talking about how amazing I am now.
No, we were talking about be serious. Oh, being in a new school.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we would agree that to sum it up in conclusion, if you if you are to switch schools, it doesn't matter your gender. It matters pretty much how athletic you are, how popular you are, and how social you are. Let's say that, or how funny. What's weird is that I was bullied in junior high and middle school, and then somehow I became one of the popular girls in high school. And I think it's just because I was in sports. There it goes back
And
to
you
it.
are very good looking.
I did not think I was good looking.
So every time I say that, you
Okay,
have some rude remarks saying you are good looking.
Well, it's hard because I had an eating disorder. And so it was like, I remember being on the basketball team, junior varsity, never made it to varsity, but captain of the JV team. And I remember even having those like 2-hour practices after school, the most I would eat sometimes in a day would be one of those like special K bars, those 90-calorie bars. And I think that's where it started. And then I got worse once I got to college, which once we get into a college episode, we can maybe discuss later. But what I did want to mention earlier too is that most people know that my dad did pass away when I was 8. He passed away from cancer. And that was more traumatic than I thought it was at the time, if that makes any sense, because that went into me not having a relationship with my father, not by choice. People talk about daddy issues, right? And it's like, maybe I did have daddy issues because I didn't have a father. I never saw a healthy relationship. My dad passed away and my mom had to raise my sister and I alone. And she never had boyfriends or anything like that. She focused on Rachel and I, which was great.
Yeah, shout out to all the single mothers out there. That's incredible. Or single fathers.
Yeah, single moms and single dads.
Single parenting
it's unbelievable what she did for us. There's no woman out there like her. And so because I never got to see a normal relationship, and that it's normal to disagree, it's normal to fight, it's also healthy to come back from those arguments and talk and work through things. I never saw that. Not once. I never saw my parents fight. So then when I got into relationships, if there was any disagreement at all, I didn't know how to handle it. So I always was silent. I just let the man take charge. So that affected me.
And that is not the case now. You have a very open voice. Let's say yes. You try to win every argument, even if you're
wrong.
No?
No.
Even
I
this right
apologize
now?
way more than you do.
Because you're wrong way more.
Oh my gosh.
I knew that was going to be.
This is, I'm on my period. This is not the time, Chance. Gosh. All right. So what would you say your friendships were like in high school versus now? That's one area I feel like I was very fortunate in. And what are you talking about? This whole podcast, I feel like you've been very fortunate.
That's what I mean. But the friends that I made.
Oh, okay. Oh, very true.
Yeah. So I hung out with a lot of people in high school. Even when I moved, I hung out with the popular group, but then I also hung out with the people who just played sports. But then I hung out with just the friends I made. So I had a wide variety of friends.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Like always?
Yeah. Did you have a lot of friends that you just made in your classes that really, they didn't have a group? You just kind of liked them. I had so many of those friendships that I value so much.
I think a lot of mine started with sports because coming into a new school, the only people you really know are your teammates. That's the only people I knew going into my new high school. Yeah. So I definitely stayed with that group for a lot of the time, but some of the friends I made on the sports team were friends with people who didn't play sports, who I became really good friends with.
If anyone is like not a sports
it's because I don't think you're listening.
No,
you just keep interrupting me when I'm trying to talk.
I'm really trying. When I hear sports, my mind just
I know, but this wasn't even about that. I'm just telling you the sports friends I had.
Okay.
So listen and just let me talk for more than 30 seconds before you interrupt, all right? That's what I want. That's all I want right now.
Go. What were we
so the friends about? I said, I made some incredible friends in high school, and in college, it was the same way. I played football in college. So most of the friends you get into was your football team because I spent 3 weeks at a time in the summer with them before school had even started.
It was the same, you would say. So your friends in like high school are pretty much, wait, they're still your friends now?
I have a couple really good friends from high school that I still talk to. And then I have a very, very good friend group in college, 10 of us, that we still get together and hang out. You know them all very well.
I love them.
Yeah. So I have made some incredible, I think, lifelong friends in both high school and in college, which is huge because I don't think a lot of people can say that. And usually over time, I mean, a lot of people I hung out with in high school, I haven't even talked to since high school that we were good friends with. I was good friends with in high school, but you just don't talk to them because that's just how life happens.
Yeah.
But you know the friends that stay with you even through college, even after college, through your life. Those are the friends you want to keep around because
so give me an idea. How many people from high school are you still friends with?
That I still talk to and would hang out with?
Yeah.
A handful. Probably less than 5.
Less than 5. Okay, that's what I'm
in college
trying to get
it's
at.
around
it's like,
10.
Yeah.
So what about you? How many
Mine's
is your...
so much less. So high school, I would say,
Because you didn't play sports in college, so you just had to
Right.
make friends the old-fashioned way.
but I was super
Being
social.
just a hot, sexy woman in
Well, I was
college
in a sorority.
who...
But I will tell you this: most people who go into a sorority will
What
make
sorority?
lifelong friends. I'm not going to
Shout
say.
out?
No, not.
Why?
Can we do like a later episode on college? We're trying to talk about childhood here. I mean, I guess college.
just
I
talking
was
about college
still
friends.
a child though. But so high school friends, I do have a handful that I would consider good friends that I trust and respect a lot. A handful of them. And then college, not so much. I would say I have one really good friend from undergrad, and I have a actually not even a handful, just like a couple friends from pharmacy school. I had a falling out with some friends in pharmacy school, which I can go into because I think it is important. I truly believe that a breakup with a friend is 10 times worse than a breakup with a significant other. And that's what happened. I lost some friends.
I feel like guys don't have those big breakups.
I mean, we had
they
a
call it.
huge falling out. It was traumatic. But anyways, most of my friends are your friends now because I feel like
Such good people, right?
they are. They're just, I love them. I wish I had known them longer. And I feel like also people, I think, believe I'm an extrovert. I'm actually an introvert.
I think you and I are the same. I think we've had to be extroverts a lot in our lives where we're comfortable with that.
It's the
But
facade.
we are
Yeah.
truly introverted, extroverted people. I think our personalities are extroverted, but we would rather stay in and be introverted.
I think that's the whole definition of introvert is a personality. I'm very introverted. So I lost a lot of friends, I think, because I would rather just stay home. And sometimes being out with people, especially when you go through depression, is really hard. And people who don't understand depression look at you as a flaky friend. So I think a lot of people viewed me, she's kind of flaky, you know, she promises she wants to do this, but then the next day it's like not going to happen. And a lot of it has to do with mental health, which we can go in later. But yeah, so man, I did not retain a lot of friends. So maybe I have to do some self-reflection.
But even now, you've made
I
some
could
good
be the
friends
problem.
now.
Maybe I'm the problem. I'm the problem. Because I feel like now I have a pretty high tolerance for people who don't believe what I believe or think different ways. I think those are some of the most interesting people because those are the people we learn the most from. And
you
so
don't want
that has
people who are
Yeah.
thinking the exact same as you because then your conversations aren't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It would just be agreeing with each
Yeah,
other.
and
That's why I think you and I play off each other well. It's because we do agree, but we do have some disagreements.
That's true. I think the closest friends I have, I really am thinking about them right now, and we are so incredibly close that I would rather have those quality friendships than have a lot.
Yeah, the quality in the friendships is huge.
Yes, agreed.
It's like your food. Would you rather a massive plate of like a buffet?
Okay.
Or would you rather a filet mignon that's just a few ounces, but it's perfect? That's what a good friend is.
Have you
get
been
it?
watching MasterChef without me?
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay.
Excuse
man.
me.
If I could get a steak from him, I think I would.
We watched the
I would
reality
be-
TV together.
I would
Chance.
reverse my vegetarian diet
Oh
to
my
eat that
gosh.
steak because some of the food they make.
Okay, can we get off the food
Oh my
topic?
God.
All right, so let's close this out with losing our virginity.
Oh,
Are we allowed to talk about this? Because technically we were
we've said some
raunchy
raunchy
but I'm trying to think
things on here.
We're minors. We were both minors.
Yeah, but it's not like we're hooking up with minors.
Yeah.
We were minors.
We were minors hooking up with minors.
My loss of virginity was your typical one. I think
Wait,
it
how old
could've-
were you? How old were you?
I was. I'm trying to think back. 16.
Okay.
My first real girlfriend. We'll call
Mm-hmm.
the first real girlfriend. And
Didn't I make you block her on Instagram?
yeah, you were jealous
I was
hearing that
pregnant. I was pregnant, okay? So it was his first girlfriend. He said this first love. I'm like, and I saw he liked a photo. I'm like, block her. I was
It's so
pregnant.
weird.
It's an excuse.
But I really wish it would have been different because I remember trying. It goes back to that trying to for a guy trying to look cool type of
Mhm.
thing. I think she had told me, and she later on told me that she was lying because she was
Oh.
doing the same thing I was doing by trying to make herself look more
Oh.
experienced.
Oh my.
So she had said she had hooked up with someone before,
Oh.
which I didn't mind. I was like, okay, that's if you want to hook up with someone, that's fine. It was before we even knew each other.
Mhm.
But that made me, as a guy who's never had sex, I was so intimidated by that. So of course I had to, being a 16-year-old boy,
Oh
I had
my
to look cool too. So I
gosh.
had said I hooked up with someone.
Okay. How long did you last?
Oh my God. You would be surprised. It was definitely under 30 seconds for sure. No, it was your typical, I'm so excited. I can't
Wait,
believe this is
really?
happening. And for a guy, that's so embarrassing. It really is.
That was like normal in high school.
You say that, but for a guy, it's traumatic.
Well, yeah.
Your first time and
I
then
wish
doing
in
that.
sex ed they would have taught us one about pleasure, and also I wish they would have said it's normal for a man, to only last this long, like his first time, and for women it's going to be a lot harder to have an orgasm. That was never talked about. Can we change that, please?
Change the stigma there.
Yeah, just I hope sex
I feel like
ed
it's still a
classes
stigma.
are.
No guy, even in their adult life, wants to last under a minute. That is still a stipulation. And I feel like as an adult, you should have control over that a little more. But some people, there is something called premature ejaculation, which it does happen. It's a medical problem.
Yeah.
So as a kid, traumatizing to come that quick.
It was not.
Because then you're thinking about, the pregnancy, then you're like pulling out.
Wait,
It's
you were
everything.
Wait, you didn't have a condom?
I don't think the first, no.
Chance.
I know. And there was definitely some pregnancy
Chance.
scares throughout my life. They're scary. Yeah, because we don't, sex ed, my parents, I didn't learn really I felt like I didn't learn anything about that stuff growing up.
I know. I think
and especially
that
with
class,
social media was still not big.
It was so just.
I mean, I had a MySpace the first time I
remember
hooked up with.
MySpace,
So it was, social media was not huge. That was my virginity. So
Mm-hmm.
very basic. How about you? I remember.
I lost my virginity when I was either 14 or 15.
Man,
I
that
want to
is-
say 15 because it sounds better than 14.
Yeah, 14 is,
Because
even hearing that age.
I'm trying to think because I was old for my grade. So I feel like I was 15 maybe. Yeah. We'll go with 15. So I was 15 and it was with my boyfriend at the time. He was a year older than me. And oh my gosh, this just popped into my mind. The first girl that he had sex with was spray paint girl number 1.
Man, that was his,
I
you were
remember
his first?
that was his first because they were dating.
Oh.
I just remember that. And I remember because randomly her and I became in the same friend group in high school.
This wasn't the same guy, you guys. The spray paint happened because of him, right?
No.
So this was a
like,
different guy.
Yeah, this is different. So
Okay.
the spray paint happened because of like something in 8th grade. So this is now like
You're way older and way
I'm
more mature as a 14-year-old.
However you are is like how old are you as a sophomore? I was a sophomore, whatever. And so I remember like she was my friend at the time, but oddly enough, I'm taking a weird tangent. I promise it's gonna come back around. We're watching One Tree Hill and I'm like, wow, they're really displaying high school correctly because why was it that it's like everyone had sex with the same people? Did that not happen in your high school? That happened in my high school a lot. It was like it was almost like,
Are you talking about like a high school orgy? I'm confused
no,
what
I'm
you're
just
trying to
saying,
get
like,
at here.
Randomly, it was kind of like, well,
You're
had
just talking about the
sex
whole
with him.
Eskimo.
Yeah, like Eskimo brothers,
brother,
Eskimo
sister type thing.
But it didn't seem like a big deal. Kind of like I'm watching Peyton and Brooke, and it's like, oh, like they're gonna be friends again. I'm sure, like it's gonna be fine. And they were, because I was like, weirdly enough, that's how it was. So, anyways, had sex, lost my virginity to him. I remember.
Was he quick?
Well, he was older, so he had already had sex with that one girl before. And I was saving myself for marriage, which I know everyone's going to be like, oh, what? Yes, I grew up very religious, and I thought I was going to save myself for marriage. And
It lasted till you were 14?
Till 15. I was 15. So he would play the game, Just the Tip, with me a lot, where it's like, it's not really considered sex. And he was my boyfriend at the time. So I was comfortable with him. And then finally, I just got sick of just the tip. Like, ugh, this is annoying, right? So then became
just the tip plus a couple
plus
inches?
A lot of inches.
Oh, was he endowed?
Yes.
That makes me feel
No,
fantastic.
I'm just saying, like, for your first time, like, imagine that, and then you see another penis, and you're just like, wait, they don't all look like that.
Oh God.
No, I'm just saying. So well endowed. Shout out to you if you ever listen to this podcast.
Can you let everyone know how I am, just to make me
You
feel better?
are amazing. Best, most handsome looking penis I've ever seen.
Am I well endowed?
You have a very good looking penis. Chance, I don't know how many people I've been with. You are perfectly sized for my vaginal canal.
Just to let everyone know, it's well above average.
So we played just the tip till finally it was like, just put it in. And he put it in, and that shit fucking hurt, okay? It was the worst experience. I'm pretty sure I might have like cried a little bit. A tear, just a small tear like coming down my eye. Because I thought, why would anyone want to have sex after that? It was that bad because guys in high school don't do foreplay. We were never taught about that. No one learned that women needed to be
guys in college didn't do it either
before you put anything in there. So it was basically you're shoving a object into the Sahara desert tunnel hole. I mean, it was just not great.
Is that gonna be the title of the podcast? The Sahara Desert Tunnel Hole.
No.
That's a good the one thing I can't get over about your first time, and you said you were saving yourself. Yeah. I can't believe you didn't save yourself for me.
Oh,
why are we not thinking that?
There's many people in between then and now.
In between even you and I now?
No.
Can we bring someone between?
Should I like give a teaser? Like should we put that in?
Kate, going off of this whole tangent, I'm sure people know by now that you are bisexual.
Yes.
That's not a secret to anybody.
Some people were surprised.
But Kate made a Tinder profile when we first started dating.
Yeah.
A Tinder profile for Kate and I that she never even told me about. And it would have been fine if she would have just told me about it. But I had to hear from one of my coworkers as a nurse, like, hey, are you on Tinder? And I was like, what do you mean? Am I on Tinder? I was like, no, I'm not on Tinder. And she's like, that's funny because she was a lesbian.
Yeah.
So
I was only matching with girls.
So yeah, so you had it set to only girls. Mm-hmm. But she came out, she showed me and she was like, oh, because you and Kate are now on my Tinder feed. And I was like,
I think I was joking with you, like, yeah, haha, I'll make a Tinder profile. And you're like, haha, yeah. And I took that as like, I'm running with it.
What's the new dating app?
I don't know.
Plenty of Fish?
No, I don't think so. No.
That was such a good one. That was, I think that was
people,
before Tinder, I think.
This is like a teaser because I feel like people are listening to this episode thinking it's, oh, we're going to learn about their childhood and what, who made them, who they were. And now we're sort of
trying to find a third.
Then we're gonna be like, I'm thinking, how does that relate to my childhood?
But that's a good thing. I would rather.
I did make out with my first girl in high school, who was spray paint number 2 girl. That's how close we were. That's showing you how close I was to these girls. So,
I don't mind you being close to any girl.
Yeah.
But that just shows you that any podcast we're going to be doing in the future, we have a set plan on what we kind of want to talk about. But it could go off on some random things, and we could talk about some crazy things that we've been through. Which
I think people now are wondering if we're in an open relationship. I think that's why people are like.
That's why we don't want to get married, because we don't want to have. Because then it's technically cheating. At that point,
cheating if we're engaged, so it'd still be cheating. So, open question: are we in an open relationship? No, we are not. Are we on Tinder anymore? No, we are not. Are we open to a threesome? I don't know. I guess you'll have to find out.
TBD?
To be determined. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess that'll be a teaser for the next episode. Or we'll just never talk about it and we'll just leave you on your seat and make you wonder.
People wanted to find out more about what we were like as kids growing up. So that's what this whole episode is going to be about. We still have a lot of questions that we're going to get into the next 5,
Yeah, we
10,
love
20.
your guys' comments on what you guys want to hear about, because we had a lot say, what was your childhood like, and what were your personalities like in high school and middle school. So basically, we were ugly ducklings that blossomed into, I would say I'm like a gray swan, but you're definitely like the white dominant swan.
Why do we have to put
that's just
colors on
out.
them nowadays?
Oh, I'm going to throw my tampon in your face.
Oh.
I will rip it out and throw
Your
it
heavy
in your face.
flow tampon.
My heavy flow. Yeah, I've got a super in, so get ready.
I mean, it says on the box extra large. Is that what does
No, it
that
doesn't.
mean? You defended yourself
I get
quick on
a
that
variety
one.
of pack, okay?
Variety of
Light,
extra
no,
larges?
it's about the flow. Light, regular, and super.
Which one is your?
Super. It's a super flow right now.
I wish condoms had different names than small, medium, large.
They don't
magnums.
have a
They
small.
need to take after Starbucks and just say you're venti,
Tall, grande, or venti.
just to make everyone feel better.
Wait, that's how I'm going to start.
How is this not a thing for condoms yet?
I know, like for penises, you just say, "Oh, that's a nice grande."
Okay, can you pick me up some venti condoms?
You wish. I'm sorry.
All right, I need the Magnum XLs.
No.
Have you ever seen one of those things? Those things fit on my arm.
No, they don't. Do they really? That's
things are big.
Terrifying. All right, so I think we did an average job explaining our childhood. I
Try to make it not too boring. We'll see.
Full disclosure, we recorded a sort of like a childhood podcast a while back, and I was so emotional doing it that we
Yeah.
couldn't even post it because, trust me, you don't want to listen to crying ASMR. I'm telling you, it's not a thing. It'll never be a thing. I cried way too much on that. So I tried to get through this as poised as possible without really losing my cool. At the same time, I want people to take this message away is, why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? And my mom reminded me, why not me? There are always people who are struggling, and you will never truly know the full story. And there are people out there who do have it worse than you. And I think a big reason I was able to grow up and have that mentality is because of everything I went through as a child. I had to grow up fast. I mean, losing a parent, doing a lot of stuff with, my mom who really wasn't present, and it's not her fault. She was grieving. And my mom at the time had, already lost her first child to cancer, then lost her soulmate, her husband, and had to raise Rachel and I.
And you have had seizures, a brain tumor, which they thought
Yep.
you were sick.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Rachel,
I didn't
yeah.
even talk about
And
that.
everything.
I got
your mom she's been through the
so
works.
a month before my dad passed away, I had a brain tumor, and then 2 months after he passed away, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. Didn't even talk about that. You can cut that out, Chance, if you want. But yeah, there's just things that I had.
I won't keep that in there because that's important. But I
It
need
is.
people to know growing up, I dealt with allergies.
I can't deal with you.
And we will end it there. Thank you guys again for listening to these terrible rants that Kate and I both
These
have.
are good.
We are loving doing this. It's getting us to talk more, even to each other. I'm looking into Kate's big, bulging, beautiful eyes.
Praying
that she
mantis eyes.
didn't like as a
Praying
kid.
mantis eyes. Okay, you want to go there?
They're beautiful.
Are they? Okay.
Get to look into those and talk to her, and I hope we can continue doing this. And we still love you guys reaching out.
Someday we'll film us doing this too.
We love the 5-star reviews. I can even handle a 4-star every now and then.
4-star.
But that 1-star, that really, man, that's
That's bullying right there. We're being bullied. Who knows? I don't know. I've pissed a lot of people off. So,
have.
hey,
But I
you're
love
supposed
you.
to support me.
But as always,
Frog, you cancer.
frog, you cancer. And we will see you all next Monday.